Kumalo, 5 to 6 p.m.
Yes, indeed. 60 minutes before top of the hour, Paul Currie now joins me from the DBSA. The announcement coming through from the Development Bank that Futuregrowth has lifted its lending suspension on the bank. He'll tell us more, of course. Paul, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Andile.
I see we are back in good books here.
Yeah, I think we were also taken a little bit by surprise originally when the announcement came out, as we didn't really anticipate the event, and we didn't really think there was too much wrong with our governance processes in the beginning.
Right.
But we are certainly very pleased to have gone through this process, come out of what has been probably quite a constructive process in the end, with more transparency and some enhancements to the governance processes that we have within the DBSA.
So, Paul, this rigorous process, this detailed DD, this assessment that Futuregrowth did, when you look back at where you've come from and where you are now, having now, them lifting the suspension, is there any value that these guys have added? Is there anything they've told you that you did not know?
I think the biggest value probably comes from hearing a perspective from an independent asset manager.
Yeah.
The DBSA does require funding and funds itself on the markets, and with the programs that we intend launching in the next few years, we'll certainly need the private sector to support us. And to do that, we need to be attractive investment opportunities for those private sector asset managers who are clearly looking for an appropriate risk-return profile for their investors. And any of these enhancements that we could put in place that would provide that level of comfort to them are clearly, I guess, in the benefit of both sides.
But, Paul, they could have given you a call and said, hello, Paul Currie, Mr. Chief Risk Officer of DBSA. These are our concerns. Let's sit down and get through them. Why did it have to go publicly and create the whole noise only for a couple of months later to say, okay, now we're good? We could have had this, privately.
Yeah, I think they also acknowledged that they could have done that. They came out shortly after the announcement and said they could have engaged with the asset managers, with the SOEs individually ahead of time. And we would certainly have welcomed that. I do, however, think that given the work that we've done with them now, it's likely to be a greater level of interaction, and I wouldn't expect them to do something like this again.
Okay, all right. I noted in the announcement, it said that the lifting of the suspension is subject to agreed improvement and additional reporting. What are these?
Essentially, there's a couple of governance processes. They looked at board quorum numbers. They asked us to formalize a politically exposed persons policy, which was something that our board had already asked us to put in place. We'll be doing that by the end of this financial year. They also asked us to do an independent biennial governance review and effectively give ourselves a governance rating, which we could then put up on our website for prospective investors to look at. We think that will probably be beneficial. And then on the reporting side, to just advise the market a little bit more, both on SENS and on our websites, when there are any changes in policies to our boards or subcommittees. And then also an interesting one is that once we've agreed our key performance indicators and targets with our shareholder, to put those up on our website.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, what about the SENS one? You're not listed. Can you do that?
We have listed funding instruments in the bond market.
All right.
So we do issue statements on SENS, and to the extent that those are traded, we need to issue them regularly, and I think this will enhance the degree of disclosure that goes out.
Interesting. I wish I could talk to Futuregrowth themselves, but it's no problem, Paul. Thank you so much for that detail, my brother.
You're welcome, Andile.
All right. He's the Chief Risk Officer at DBSA, Paul Currie. What a storm this Futuregrowth has caused. And it seems like, they're now systematically lifting these suspensions and agreeing certain terms with the SOEs. I'm not sure if this was done the best way. Notwithstanding, of course, the positive results that have come out of it, I think it could have been done a lot better. 12 minutes before 6. Let's check out the roads.
Power traffic.
A very good evening to you. In your power traffic, due to roadworks, traffic on the M1 South is slow for 30 minutes from First Avenue to Boyson's Road. If you're traveling north on the M1, you can also expect to queue for 30 minutes between Glenhove Road and Woodmead Drive, and that's due to an earlier accident